Today, we're going to dive into a pretty mind-bending concept from our source material. It's this idea that our reality is way more flexible than we think. The sources we're explaining suggest we can change our entire world, not by hustling harder, but by making a quantum leap in our consciousness. So let's unpack how this whole framework is supposed to work. And right off the bat, the material hits you with this powerful statement. The idea is that you're hearing this right now for a reason. It's not random. In this view, your own consciousness has pulled this information towards you because you're actually ready to hear it. It kind of frames this whole experience as a meaningful event you've orchestrated yourself. So you might be wondering, how would you even know if this shift is happening to you? Well, the sources give us a few specific signs to look for. You might get this strange feeling that the world is more fluid, or that time is getting weird, stretching out or skipping ahead. Maybe you're seeing synchronicities everywhere, like repeating numbers or having those little glitch in the matrix moments. At its core, it's this growing sense that you're just different because you're starting to see the world through a whole new lens. This slide really gets to the heart of the matter. It's a tale of two realities. On one hand, you've got what it calls 3D linear reality. That's the familiar story. Circumstances are solid, the past defines who we are today, and life just kind of happens to us. But then there's quantum reality. In this framework, your circumstances aren't fixed at all. They're just probabilities. And it's your focus in this exact moment that actually pulls one of those possibilities into your experience. Okay, so that obviously leads to a huge question. If we're surrounded by all these infinite possibilities, what's the secret sauce? What's the actual mechanism that picks one reality out of the soup of potential and makes it our life? And the answer, according to the source material, is its take on the observer effect. Now, in actual quantum physics, this is about how observing a tiny particle can literally change what it does. The material we're exploring takes that principle and applies it to, well, everything. It suggests that your consciousness, you, are the observer collapsing the wave of infinite potential into the one single reality you experience, moment by moment. So this slide breaks down what the source calls two completely different ways of observing. Over on the left, you have victim consciousness. This is the state where you're always trying to push, fight, or change the circumstances you're in. But on the right, you've got winner consciousness. And in this model, it doesn't try to change the reality it's in. It just shifts its observation to a different reality where the problem doesn't even exist. One waits to see it before believing it. The other believes it so fully that it causes it to be seen. And this leads us to what the source calls the quantum mistake. This is supposedly the number one thing that keeps people stuck. It's that urge to try and fix the old you, to work on your flaws and patch up your weaknesses, all from a place of feeling like you're not good enough as you are. This brings up a feeling that I think we can all relate to, right? Why is it that sometimes the harder you push for something, the more everything seems to push back? How can your absolute best efforts sometimes end up making things even worse? Well, from this perspective, the answer is all about energy. The source claims that when you try to force something to happen from a feeling of lack, that feeling that what you want is over there and you are over here, you create what it calls electromagnetic resistance. It's like energetic static, and this chaotic signal is said to literally repel the very thing you want. And this all comes down to one crucial quote from the source material. The quantum field isn't like some cosmic catalog where you place an order. It doesn't respond to your wishes or your wants. The core idea is that it only responds to your state of being. It's a mirror for who you are in this very moment. So how does this shift actually happen? The source uses this incredible metaphor, a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. See, the goal isn't to be a faster, stronger caterpillar. The goal is a total metamorphosis. First comes what it calls identity dissolution. The old you just dissolves. Then there's a quantum reorganization, where your consciousness reassembles itself around a new blueprint. And finally, you emerge as a completely new version of you, playing by a totally different set of rules. All right, so you go through this whole intense process of dissolving and rebuilding. What's it even like on the other side? What does it actually feel like to live from this new state of being? The source material gets pretty specific about the results. It basically describes the outcomes as literal upgrades to your human operating system. Things like intuition evolving into quantum precognition, just knowing things before they happen. Time itself can feel like it bends for you. Your presence alone, what it calls quantum coherence, can lift up the people around you. Life stops feeling random and starts feeling like a flow of perfectly timed miracles. And the biggest one, You no longer feel like a body that has consciousness, you feel like consciousness that is using a body. And this brings us to the final major paradigm shift. The source argues that this isn't about jumping from one reality to another. It's about a shift in your awareness, a deep recognition that all realities already exist, right here, right now. And your only job is to choose which one to tune into, to observe into your experience. So, all of this leaves us with one final, really powerful question. If this quantum field is just a mirror reflecting the frequency you're broadcasting with your state of being, then the only moment that matters is this one. The real question isn't what you want to get. It's who are you choosing to be right now.